What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews back at it again with the Hometown Take Podcast, episode 6, coming at you right now. First things first, I hope you all are well. Thank you all for listening in, clicking in on this video. Check out the other videos if you haven't already, episodes 1 through 5 of the Hometown Take Podcast. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Got a few things I want to talk about here today. Gonna talk some Braves. I got to talk about the NBA playoffs. There have been too many good games since the last time we have spoken, so I'm gonna get into that. And also gonna touch on our Atlanta United as they get a big win yesterday against Sporting Kansas City. Got a nice 3-0 victory, I should say, on the road against a good Sporting KC team, and I have to touch on that a little bit. Atlanta United finally looking like they're back in form. But first and foremost, I want to get into our Atlanta Braves. You know, I'm usually complaining about the Braves. Not even about the Braves bullpen specifically, because the offense has been fine all year. Have not had an issue with the offense the entire season. We've looked good. Of course, we have had some down nights, but 9 times out of 10, our offense does everything it really needs to for us to be in position to get a victory. And really, it's still the status quo. The bullpen is still inconsistent, and the offense, really, frankly, the offense is looking better because we have more players starting to get on. Freddie is continuing to get hot. Acuna is staying hot. And now Ozzie Albies is getting hot, hitting a grand slam the other night against the Marlins. So really, the offense is coming around even more. But the bullpen just continues to stay inconsistent. Thank goodness for this Marlins series. Really, thank goodness for the Marlins. I sent out a tweet today. I said Braves got a much-needed sweep against the Marlins. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for the Marlins, because we played them at the right time, because we weren't necessarily skidding. It's just we were just not where we needed to be. We needed some momentum. We didn't have enough momentum. We were very up and down, especially during that Rocky series where we ended up losing the series when we really should have won the series. That's the game I really want to get into right now. That game against the Rockies, it was the second game of the series. That game, that game got everybody's blood boiling, because not only did the bullpen collapse and cost the Braves a victory, it was the closer specifically who collapsed and cost the Braves a victory in A.J. Minter. So we go to the top of the ninth, and the Braves are up 5-4. Just need 3 outs, and the Braves get a win, and they go on to win the series, because we had already know they would tie the series 1-1 because we did lose the first game in this series. So we would tie the series up 1-1 and play the rubber match the next day. Anyways, we go into the top of the ninth, as I said, up 5-4. Minter's pitching for us, of course. Gives up a double to center to start things off. Then he gets a strikeout. Okay. Then Dahl gets to third on a wild pitch by Minter. Then he gets another strikeout. So there's 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Ian Desmond is pinch hitting for Walters. He walks. Then A.J. Minter gives up a hit. No, he gives up another walk to Butera. Desmond goes to second. Now the bases are loaded. We got Dahl on third, Desmond on second, and Butera on first. Then Charlie Blackmon's up, and he doubles to shallow right. Dahl scores, Desmond scores, and Butera gets to third. So it's now 6-5. So then Minter comes out. Dan Winkler comes in. He doesn't really make it any better. He gives up a 3-run home run to Trevor Story, and that's how the game ends, 9-5. What the heck? Come on, A.J. Minter. If you want to try and be this closer, you got to be this closer. This was your opportunity to shut everybody up talking about, hey, we need Kimbrel, we need Kimbrel, we need Kimbrel. This was a good opportunity for you to shut everybody up and be like, hey, guys, A.J. Minter is enough. I am enough for this team. Now we see that you might not be the answer for real. I get everybody has a blown save every once in a while, but I frankly still want Craig Kimbrell. That way maybe we can move A.J. Minter up to the setup spot and then put Kimbrell as the closer. That way we can maybe take out a Dan Winkler or Luke Jackson. Jackson hasn't been bad, I guess, as of late, but the bullpen as a whole is just too inconsistent for me. We got some okay arms on the bullpen, but frankly, at this point, I'm ready to just throw away the whole bullpen. Throw away the whole bullpen. Throw it away. Just throw away the whole bullpen. That just got me frustrated. Like I said, thank goodness that we played the Marlins. Like, goodness gracious. We did go to that 10th inning game, and the bullpen came through, but it's the Marlins. I'm not going to give much credit when you beat the Marlins. That's a team you should sweep. You did what you were supposed to do. So no pat on the back, no real credit for me. Good job for doing what you were supposed to and beating a lesser team. So, yeah, Braves still got me hot, but you know what? I'm going to try to be optimistic for you guys. With this sweep of the Marlins, we have won 5 out of our last 7. We are 18-16. That's good for second in the NL East. So, we're looking okay. With the way that we have played and with the way that our bullpen has underperformed, if we can just get the bullpen right, we have plenty of time to make things right and really, hopefully, because I don't see us making any moves anytime soon, hopefully, I pray, I really do pray that we make some moves during the trade deadline. That's really the only time I see us making any moves coming up here soon. That's the soonest I see us making a move. Hopefully we're close and right there in the division, or, even better, hopefully we are leading in the division. Hopefully we can run away with it even more or gain some space or whatever. I just hope that we're still in contention by the time we get to the trade deadline. But some moves have to be made. We got to shore up this bullpen because we're about to go into a series with the Dodgers today. First game at 10:10, or first pitch at 10:10 to start game 1 of the series. We can't have a lousy bullpen going up against the Dodgers if we want to win the series, which we do. We got to be right. And this next stretch of our schedule is not going to be a cakewalk. We got the Dodgers in L.A., the Diamondbacks in Arizona, come home to St. Louis, Milwaukee, go back on the road to San Francisco, and then stay on the road to St. Louis, the Nats, and then we kind of, go against Detroit. Haven't seen too much of Detroit this year, but we kind of take a little dip there. But we got some tough opponents coming up. We got a nice little stretch of our schedule. The Diamondbacks, pretty good. We know how good the Dodgers are. We know how good Milwaukee is. San Francisco is no team to sneeze at, really. Got important series coming up very soon in the end of the month against the Nationals. That's only a 2-game series, but 2 games you still want to win because they are in your division. A division that might end up being pretty tight here. Luckily, the Phillies haven't run away with it yet. Hopefully they don't run away with it. But just an important stretch coming up here. The month of May will be an important month for the Braves as they got some good opponents coming up soon. So interesting to see how they fare out this month. Hopefully the pitching is right. Bullpen, I need you guys to be on because right now we're rolling with you guys and I need y'all to be on. So bullpen, get it together or we need to make some moves. This is the last time I'm saying I'm done, really, really done this time talking about it. Probably really not, but I'm done talking about it for now. All right, now that that's over with, I got to talk about the NBA playoffs, man. Woo-wee! This has been, oh, man. I knew the second round was going to be good. The second round has not disappointed at all. At all. Oh, my goodness, the second round has been amazing. Such good games, such exciting games. I mean, just the other night, we had a 4-overtime game between the Nuggets and the Trailblazers. They had another great game tonight. 76ers and the Raptors had a good game today. Both of those series now tied at 2 apiece. Goodness gracious, it's been great. The Milwaukee-Boston series has been pretty good as well. Houston just got a game at home to make that series against Golden State 2-1. Whew, goodness. But for now, I'll focus on the games that happened yesterday. Let's start with Toronto and Philadelphia playing Game 4 in Philly. Kawhi Leonard, man, he is a baller. Is he a baller or what? Man, he's a baller. Kawhi Leonard has had a crazy good playoff run, averaging, I believe it is 36 right now in the second round. I mean, just numbers are crazy. Scored 39 today, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, just doing the dang thing. Pascal Siakam had been playing very well up to this point, had an injury, got an injury in the last game, gutted through it today, gutted through the injury, played through it today, only had 9 points, but did have 3 steals. He was okay. You could just tell he wasn't right though. So hopefully he can get back all the way right, because that 1-2 punch has been something serious for the Raptors. This series really has what kept them in this series against Philly, because Philly has been playing pretty well too, and Philly didn't necessarily play bad this game. It's just the Raptors outplayed them, and Kawhi Leonard is on a tear right now. If I had to guess a winner, oh man, that's tough. My gut is telling me Toronto, but I wouldn't be surprised if Philly pulls it out either. I mean, I just don't know, man. The games really could go either way. I mean, we've seen that. It's just been back and forth, back and forth. Raptors take a swing. Philly comes right back, takes a swing. I mean, it's just so good. Such good basketball right now. We're seeing these teams play. But I think Toronto will end up pulling it out. I think the series, it's definitely going to go 6. That's obvious because it has to. Just math. But I think the series will go 7. And I think it's going to be the Raptors to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Because, I mean, man, when Kawhi Leonard gets going, he is going. And he can get to his spot every single time. I mean, if you've been watching the series, I mean, you can see it. I had a good chance. Finally got a good day. It was a good Sunday. It was a good Sunday. Finally had a chance to watch some playoff basketball because, man, I've been working so much and, just all over the place that I hadn't had any time to really sit down and just watch the playoffs. But finally had an opportunity to watch the Toronto and Philly game 4, and watch game 4 of the Denver-Portland series. So it was a good Sunday. Very nice, chill Sunday. It was good. Got some good basketball time in. But just watching the games, Kawhi Leonard can get to his spot whenever he wants. Pascal Siakam has been doing his thing, doing a nice job slashing to the basket, has been shooting well. Obviously, game 4 did not have a good shooting night, obviously, but he was definitely hampered by that injury. So, like I said, hopefully he can come back from that and still play at a higher level. Hopefully that injury doesn't hold him back too much for too much longer. But it's going to be a good series because, I mean, Joel Embiid, he's a bad guy. Didn't have the most dominating game today. Only 11 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Had 2 steals, 2 blocks. But you see, he did a little bit of everything. So his presence was definitely still there. And they've got so many scores. His scoring numbers aren't going to be crazy every single game. It's going to as many scores as they have, Tobias Harris, obviously Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets, who was getting buckets tonight. JJ Redick had a great night shooting as well too. As many scores as they have, the points are going to fluctuate. So him having 11 points really doesn't scream much. Just because you see 11 points doesn't mean he wasn't effective. It's just that he was doing other things like snagging boards, blocking shots, getting steals. So just because you don't see high point numbers doesn't mean he wasn't effective or didn't play a big role in the game, because he still did. Jimmy Buckets, however, was getting the buckets tonight. 29 points, or excuse me, not tonight. I'm recording this. Jimmy Buckets though was getting buckets on Sunday. 29 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. He was doing it all. JJ Redick had a good game. As I mentioned, 19 points, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. He had a good game, 6 of 9 on field goals overall. Tobias Harris had a solid 16 points, 5 rebounds. Ben Simmons, okay game, 10 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Man, the world is lucky that Ben Simmons does not have a jump shot. If Ben Simmons had a jump shot, it'd be a problem. Philly would be a real problem because they could space the floor even more. If defenders had to respect Ben Simmons' jump shot, look out. If Ben Simmons ever develops a jump shot, look out because it's going to be a problem. But as of right now, that is the real one of the real big weaknesses for Philly. Also, their bench is kind of thin. They have arguably the second best starting five behind the Warriors. But when you get to the bench, they're kind of thin. I mean, Mike Scott is a streaky shooter. James Ennis, he's a pretty good piece off the bench. Greg Monroe, Boban is Boban. I mean, he's a big body, but Boban isn't going to necessarily dominate a game. So, 2 big weaknesses there for Philly. Ben Simmons can't shoot, and the bench is thin. Ben Simmons, when Ben Simmons develops a jump shot and when they get a couple more pieces for the bench, if they can keep Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and JJ Redick together, if they can keep that nucleus together, that core together for the next couple years, get a piece or two on the bench, and if Ben Simmons develops a jump shot, that's when they'll get over hump. That's when they'll get over the hump, and that's when I think they will have a real shot at potentially being able to beat the Warriors. If the Warriors stay intact with KD, Draymond, Clay, Steph, all of them, if the team stays like that, if KD leaves, then they could beat the Warriors as is now. They could at least contend to beat the Warriors as is right now, as currently constructed. But if the Warriors keep KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond, all them guys, then Ben Simmons needs to develop a jump shot. And also they need some more pieces on the bench. But again, just to put a bow on Toronto and Philly series, I think Toronto's going to pull it out. I think Kawhi Leonard's really on a mission. He knows he's got this free agency come up. He's a baller. Any baller is playing to win a championship. So yes, he's playing not just for a big free agency signing. He's not just playing for the check. He's not just playing for the contract. He's playing to win too. He's a baller. He wants to win. So he's playing to try and get to the finals, to try and get back to that pinnacle that he has been on before as a finals MVP back in 2014 when they defeated the Miami Heat, the LeBron James-led Miami Heat. He's trying to get back there as well. But also he's playing for that check. He's playing for that bag. He's playing for that contract, whether that's with Toronto, the Clippers, whoever. So Kawhi Leonard just playing very motivated right now, and you can tell. Moving on to, this has been one of my favorite series too, the Nuggets and the Trailblazers. Man, I really love both of these teams. I really love the Nuggets, and I really love the Trailblazers. Both teams just play hard. They give it everything they got. They've all got good young talent, especially the Nuggets. Man, I kept hearing everybody thought the Nuggets were going to lose to the Spurs. At first, I'm not even going to lie, wasn't too sure, but I had a gut feeling that the Nuggets were going to pull it out. Everybody was talking about that the Nuggets, they got to go through some downs before they see the ups. They're too young, they're too inexperienced. But why not the Nuggets? Yes, they're young, but they're learning on the way. They're very well coached by Coach Mike Malone. He has done a fantastic job. If Coach Budenholzer wasn't doing what he is doing and what he did in the regular season for the Bucks. Mike Malone would probably be the favorite for Coach of the Year, but I think Coach Budenholzer has that award pretty much wrapped up, which he should. He deserves it as well. Both coaches are deserving of it for sure. But, man, the Nuggets are a fun team to watch. Jamal Murray is a baller. He is a star, potential superstar in the making. Paul Millsap, the former Atlanta Hawk, is a great veteran piece for them. Craig is good. Obviously, the Joker, Nikola Jokic, is balling out of control as well. He's a triple-double machine, had a triple-double on yesterday. Gary Harris has been playing pretty well. He's been going through a little bit of a shooting slump, but had a good game Sunday. 14 points, 5 rebounds. Had a pretty good game. Plumlee is a good piece off the bench, gives you some energy off the bench. Beasley has been playing well. Had a little bit of a letdown in this game. Didn't do too much, but the Nuggets, I really like the Nuggets. I like the way they hustle. They play hard. And, they just go out there and play. They play a good brand of basketball, move the ball. Don't really see too much ISO from them. See good ball movement. Take good shots. I just like the brand of basketball that the Nuggets play. And then also the Trailblazers, I definitely respect what the Trailblazers do. Another team that just plays hard, goes out there and gives it everything they got. They're not showboaty either. You never see Dame. Like Dame said when it came to the OKC series, he's not the type to show up his opponent and get too crazy. Like he said, Russell Westbrook did. I'm not going to, speak on that because people get hype and they do what they do. But they're not super showboaty either, and I respect that about him and C.J. McCollum. And then, man, the Trailblazers bench, they got some dogs on that bench. They really do. The Denver bench is pretty solid, but the Trailblazer bench is good, which is why I think next to Houston, they have the best shot to beat the Warriors. I think if Denver ends up moving on in this series and facing Golden State, I gotta be quite honest, always gonna keep it 100 with you guys. I don't think Denver has a chance. They might win a game or two if they're lucky. But realistically, I don't think they have a chance to beat Golden State at all. But if Portland wins the series, and it is Portland and Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, Portland may be able to do something. I could see them upsetting Golden State. Now, of course, Golden State would have to be off their game some, whether it's KD not playing well, Steph not playing well, whoever. And Portland would have to play literally pretty perfect. That's really the only way I see it. You can't have both of them playing okay because Golden State's okay is better than Portland's okay. That's just how it is. They got more talent. Just better players. I mean, don't get me wrong. Dame, CJ, they some dogs. They can get it. They're some ballers. They're stars. But they're not Steph. They're not KD. That's just what it is. But if Portland is clicking on all cylinders and the Warriors are off, look out. We could see Portland in the finals instead of the Warriors. But that's just hypothetical. The Warriors always seem to kick it on and really, really turn it on when they have to. So I'm not going to go there yet. I'm not there yet with them. But, man, the Trailblazers do have some good pieces coming off the bench. Al-Farouq Aminu had himself a nice game, even though he is a starter. Seth Curry played well. Steph's brother had a good game off the bench on Sunday. 16 points, 4 of 6 from 3. Hit 3 threes in a row. He got pretty hype. 6 of 9 from the field altogether. Rodney Hood has been coming on lately. Of course, he had the game winner in that thrilling quadruple overtime game. Man, I was at work and I was watching the game. That was crazy. I was like, man, this game is still going. And I started watching it. I was like, wow, these teams are really just going at it, playing hard. And the Portland-Denver series was my favorite series even before that quadruple overtime game. Just because they just play so hard and they hustle. You could tell they're really leaving it on the floor. Not to say that all the other teams aren't, but, man, I just love the way both of those teams play. Not a lot of ISO ball. They move the ball around very well. It's just like the basketball they play in Portland and in Denver. So that's going to be a great series. I think that series is definitely going 7. Who's going to win? I don't know. Both teams gotten games on the road. I have no idea. It's a coin flip for me. I think the Trailblazers are going to get this one. In my heart of hearts, I feel like it's going to be the Trailblazers. But you know what? I would like to see the Nuggets win the series. I would like to see the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals just to see what they do, and just because it's a new team. It's a new team. I'm ready for a little bit of change. We've seen Golden State in Cleveland, even though we're not going to see Cleveland, obviously, and we're not going to see LeBron James either. But I've seen Golden State Cleveland for 4 years. I've seen Golden State for these past 4 years. I'm tired of it. Golden State, I'm good on y'all. I know y'all won plenty of rings. I want to see some new faces in the finals. To be honest, I'm ready for that. I do appreciate greatness. So if Golden State makes it back, I'll appreciate it even more, because it's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to maintain greatness. It's hard. That's one of the reasons why it kind of annoys me when people say I'm tired of them, because you got to respect greatness, but I'm ready to see new teams. So call me wishy-washy if you want, but I do appreciate greatness. But on the other hand, I'll be okay with seeing some new teams too. So it'd be nice to see Denver in the Western Conference Finals. Wouldn't even mind Portland, because they usually don't make it past the first or second round. No shade, it's just the truth. So we'll see how that plays out there. So I'm going to take Portland in 7 games on that series. I got Toronto in 7. I got Portland in 7. Real quickly on the Celtics and Bucks series, I got the Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks in 6. I think it's just Milwaukee's year. I think it's Milwaukee's year to make it out of the East. Am I forgetting a series? I don't think I'm forgetting one. Golden State, Houston. I'm taking Golden State. Even though Houston can do it, I know Houston can do it, I just don't believe in Houston this year. I think last year was their chance. And still, to this day, I believe if Chris Paul last year was healthy, Game 7 last year, I think it's Houston in the finals instead of Golden State. Shoot, maybe even if Houston doesn't miss, well, it's kind of pretty obvious. If Houston doesn't miss 27 straight threes, Houston's probably in the finals last year over Golden State. And who knows what happens. Maybe Houston loses and it's LeBron still in Cleveland. Who knows? Or maybe it's Houston wins it and we're talking about Houston being the defending champs all season. I don't know. We're getting into some bedlam there. But I don't know. Who knows? But that's just how I feel about that. I think if Chris Paul was healthy last year in Game 7, I think it's Houston that was in the finals instead of the Warriors. So, got Golden State, and I'm going to say Golden State in 5, to be honest. And Houston might take it to 6, but I honestly think it's going to be Golden State in 5. This is a big – it's self-explanatory. It's obvious that this is a huge, huge Game 4 coming up for the Rockets. They go down 3-1. They ain't coming back. They ain't coming back. I don't see it. So I got Golden State in 5, Toronto in 7. I have Milwaukee in 6. I have Portland in 7. I know I'm missing a series. In the East, you got no, I think I got them all. You got Milwaukee and Boston, and you just got Toronto and Philly, and then you just got Golden State and Houston and Portland and Denver. Yeah, that's all of them. All right. So, moving on off of that, I want to touch on Atlanta United. Haven't really touched on Atlanta United too much this year, but hey, they got a nice win. Everybody been talking about Atlanta United so far, talking about the sky is falling because we haven't seen the Atlanta United of last year. Everybody thinks Frank DeBoer is not going to be able to get it done. They think his scheme is not going to work for this team, that he's messing up the offense. Man, you've heard everything. I mean, it's just been bedlam over here if you're from Atlanta and you're a fan of the Five Stripes. Goodness gracious, man. So much negativity coming from Atlanta United so far. Some of it is well-deserved criticism, but some of it is just like, relax. This team, they're still trying to figure out how to play with each other. Pity and Joseph still trying to learn how to play with each other. Barco has been playing out of his mind this year. Barco has really come into his own this year, playing very well. Scored a goal in the 3-0 victory against Sporting Kansas City. His goal was in the 47th minute. Joseph Martinez, our boy, our MVP, had 2 goals today, one in the 39th minute and one in the 76th minute. So he started things off and he closed things out. That's what I'm talking about, Joseph. So a great victory. A great victory from Atlanta United FC. This is one of those victories where it turns your season around. This is a victory you look to at the end of the season if Atlanta United is able to repeat, and it's like, this is where it started. That Sporting Kansas City win, that 3-0 victory on the road in Sporting Kansas City, that's where it started. It's one of those games. Atlanta had a pretty good job holding on to possession, 55% to 45% when it comes to possession. Had 5 corner kicks, only had 5 fouls to Sporting KC's 12. But they just looked like the Atlanta United of old. It's nothing really you can even get to statistical-wise. It's just they looked like how we expected them to look. A high-powered offense, a high run-and-gun offense with Barco leading the break, Joseph finishing things off, and we'll get Pity in there as well. But it was just a great win for Atlanta United, the best win so far for them during this MLS season. So hopefully this is that game that turns things around for them, and hopefully we will start to see more results like this. So a good 3 points for Atlanta United, and hopefully that will carry on over for them as they continue their series, as this was the first game in their 8 games in 28 days. So they got a pretty rough stretch here coming up, and it will be interesting to see how they handle it and how they get through it. They have Toronto FC next. They will play that match May 8th, kickoff at 7 p.m. Team they have never beaten before in Toronto FC in the young history of Atlanta United, have not ever defeated Toronto FC, only lost or drawn to Toronto FC. But that is it for this video. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel. Please comment down below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know who you think is going to make it out of the East. Let me know who you think is going to make it out of the West. Let me think who you think is going to make it out of these series between Milwaukee and Boston, Philly and Toronto, Golden State and Houston, Portland and Denver. Let me know who you think is going to make it out of those series. I can't wait. Just one more quick thing. I can't wait until the Hawks make it back into the playoffs. Ooh, I'm going to be acting up. I'm going to be acting up when the Hawks make it to the playoffs. Hopefully, it's either next year or the year after, because I don't want to wait too much longer. I'm ready to see my Atlanta Hawks back in the playoffs, back in some real meaningful games, back to see them playing. Even though they played hard all last year, I'm just ready to see them play some meaningful games, ready to have something to cheer about, but headed in the right direction. With John Collins, Trae Young, obviously, Taurean Prince, Kevin Huerter, they're in the right direction. I'm ready to see my Hawks take off and soar for real. But again, please comment on this video. Give me your thoughts. Let me know how long you think it's going to be until the Hawks make it to the playoffs. Let me know what you think of the second round. Let me know who you think is going to make it out of the second round in both the Eastern and Western Conference. Give me your finals matchup. Who you think is going to be in the finals? I'll touch on that more when it comes closer. Let me know who you think is going to make it to the conference finals. So, yeah, just give me your thoughts. Give me your input. For all my Five Stripes fans out there, let me know if you think this was the turning point for Atlanta United. Let me know if you think now we're going to see more of our defending champion Five Stripes, more of them, and not the team who was kind of struggling a little bit to put some goals on the board. And part of that is because of how some teams play Atlanta United, but that's just something you're going to have to figure out. That's something Frank DeBoer and the coaching staff is going to have to figure out. That's something the players are going to have to play through. But let me know if you think this was the turning point for Atlanta United. And let me know what you think about our Atlanta Braves. Do you think we're good? Do you think we need to make some moves? Do you think the bullpen is going to come around? Let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, one last time, please like this video, share it, tell your friends about the podcast, listen to past episodes if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and thank you guys always for the support. I'll talk to you guys next time, but for now, peace.